New book is delving into Amazon's goal of total business dominance. The book is titled The Everything War, Amazon's Ruthless Quest to Own the World and Remake Corporate Power. And joining us right now is the author, Wall Street Journal reporter, Dana Mattioli. It's great to see you. Good morning. Congratulations on Pub Days tomorrow. The book will be out tomorrow. But so many questions about Amazon. You've been publishing a number of the excerpts and other stories that relate to the issues that you raise in the book in the Wall Street Journal over the past week. We've debated some of them around the table here even. And I'm so curious, as you've delved into this book, and maybe it's a moral question, there are a lot of tactics that Amazon uses to try to get in underneath their competitors and understand how folks are doing certain things. They're even saying that they're somebody else in some cases to find out some of this information. And I'm curious whether you think this is right or wrong, ultimately.
So Amazon likes to tout all the good it does for small businesses and for consumers on its website. But what I found in investigating this company for the book is that it actually spies on its third-party sellers. It steals ideas from entrepreneurs. It has decimated retail jobs. And it gouges a lot of these third-party sellers that it holds up as an example of the small businesses that it's helping. And they say that they're customer obsessed. But what I found is they're also competitor obsessed.
Right.
They're misrepresenting themselves to get on rival platforms to get secrets. And that's not a normal business tactic.
Okay, well, let's talk about a couple things. Let's talk about the tactics in just one second. But the customer obsession versus the competition obsession. There is an argument to be made that the customer obsession has both helped them grow their business, but has also helped consumers over the years. One of the reasons that I happen to be a Prime consumer, meaning I pay for the Prime membership and whatnot, is because I think, and maybe I'm misunderstanding it, I think for the most part I get a pretty great deal. The convenience of it is, to me, seems pretty worthwhile. And so I think to myself, this is a pretty great store. Am I misthinking this?
I don't think you're misthinking it, but I think that most customers don't realize that 60% of what is sold on Amazon is sold by third-party sellers, and it's an unregulated bazaar.
Right.
And they do say that they're customer obsessed, and that it exists to a certain extent, but it also flies in the face of some of the things that they're selling. Things like carbon monoxide detectors that don't detect carbon monoxide, or children's toys with lead in them. If you are so customer obsessed, why would you be selling items like that?
When you talk about the tactics, and one of the ones that we were talking about at this table last week was this Big River investigation. This was a company, effectively made-up company, to try to pretend that they weren't Amazon so they could go on to platforms like Walmart and others to try to sell products on them effectively so they could understand what's going on behind the scenes, right? I imagine, and we were debating the morality of this, I imagine that there's a lot of folks who are always looking at their competition, trying to figure out how they work things. It would shock me if somebody at Walmart is not trying or hasn't tried at some point in the ball game to sell products on the Amazon marketplace, which is a very open marketplace. I'd be shocked if they hadn't opened an account on Shopify to see how it works, to see how quickly the shipping really takes place, to see what kind of advertising and promotion they're going to try to charge. So this is why we were sort of debating what this really, how we're supposed to feel about all this. How do you feel about it?
I would say that there's competitive intelligence like secret shopping, or maybe an employee sets up an account on a rival website. What Amazon did here was they set up an entire shell company. They were super secretive, and then they misrepresented themselves. They even took meetings with their rivals to get information and shared it back with Amazon executives. And I think that goes beyond the normal secret shopping or the benchmarking that a lot of companies do. And ultimately, it comes down to what they learned, how it was used, and that gets into the legality of it.
Underneath this whole book, I think, is a bit of a Lena Khan question, which is, frankly, what should happen to this company? Is this company good for society, bad for society? And if you think it's not good for society, not good for the consumer, is it supposed to be broken up? Is it supposed to be regulated in a different way? Is it supposed to be fined if you believe that some of these things are not appropriate? Where do you land?
So the FTC obviously sued Amazon for being a monopoly.
Right.
And if you read the lawsuit closely, they say that maybe they'd go after structural remedies, which could be a breakup of the company. But there's a question here. Amazon's been around for nearly 30 years. It has all these tentacles that are market leaders. You could get into a Standard Oil situation where you break it up and the pieces are just so big in their own right that they're market leaders that they just gain more power and they increase in value. So I think that's what the regulators are grappling with right now.
Do you think it's a monopoly? online, obviously, it has a huge market share. But the question is, are we supposed to define it strictly as online? Are we supposed to define it as retail writ large?
Right. I don't know if it's a monopoly in the legal terms, but I would say that they definitely resort to some business tactics, and they have their finger on the scale in a lot of ways. And you see that in a lot of examples in the book.
Right. Final question. What has Amazon said to you about all this? What was the process like with them? Were they saying...
Yeah, so I did a full fact check of the book with them. They did not really participate on an official basis, so they didn't give me access, but I got a ton of access on my own.
And did they call you up when they saw the book and say, this is crazy, we love the book, we hate the book, we love you, we hate you, what?
They haven't read the book yet. I guess they'll see it tomorrow.